Today, I decided to go in a different direction with the video, not just trying some food, but comparing 3 distinctive dishes that could easily be confused for one another, trying them out, showing them to you, and explaining the differences between them. Those 3 dishes are Papusas, Gorditas, and Arepas. First on the list is Arepas. I picked up a pair of the Venezuelan specialty at the Arepas joint, a food truck that makes its way through Boulder and Denver. Today I found them at the Rayback Collective, a dining and cultural destination in the city of Boulder, where you can find different food options on a daily basis. Check out their website in the description if you're interested in knowing more.
Like a sandwich. Feels like you're opening up a burger. Grab some of that habanero sauce. Man, it wasn't kidding. That habanero stuff is spicy. It's very good though. It's not cooked with the stuffings. They make these separate. The corn wrappers. Slice them in half and then stuff it with stuff. In Colombian style, usually what they do is they don't even cut it. They just make it and they put it on top. I like this more, especially for a food truck, because it means that you can just grab it and eat it. So yeah, that's the first one. And I kind of just wolfed that one down because I was really hungry. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to focus a little bit more on the other one.
I will say that, like, as much as we...
There she is. So this one's obviously a lot different. It's got plantain chips. It does have shredded beef. It has black beans. It's got the cheese. It looks like fresh cheese. First one, it was shredded beef and a couple different types of cheese, and that was really, really good. That's one of the traditional options. This one's more like an everything arepa. Yeah, get this. The other one was very good. This one's much more complete. It has sweetness from the plantains. It's got the cheese is a little bit more subtle than it was in the shredded beef one. It's still got that shredded meat. It's got those black beans. The spice from the sauce makes it really good. I think I'm gonna try some of that avocado cilantro sauce. I'll be right back. Ah, these guys are so nice. They were just talking to me about the difference between the corn that's used to make the shell as opposed to a gordita or a papusa. For a arepa, you boil it. Right? You don't use anything else. You just boil it until the germ is killed and the hull is removed. And then you just grind it, salt. It's a simpler process. Whereas with papusas or gorditas, generally you use a mesa where you've treated it with lime or some other alkaline mixture, and that does the same thing. It kills the germ and basically dissolves the hull. So it's a different way of getting a similar product, but they definitely taste and feel distinct in your mouth. I just poured on a mix of both their sauces. That's probably the way to do it. It is really good like that. mixed sauce, the plantains, the beans, the meat, the cheese, and of course, the shell. It all comes together and makes something that's really, really fun. This will probably be the most complex item I eat today. But everything's so well balanced, it really works really very, very, very well together.
Oh, I've been doing arepas for 2 years.
2 years?
I mean, since I was born. When you are in Venezuela, your mom usually sits you on the corner of the kitchen and then gives you a little bowl of arepa. And because this is pre-cooked, you can eat it. And that was kind of my game. I learned how to do arepas.
Sounds fun. That's awesome, guys. Before I move on to the next place, I really want to emphasize what awesome people these guys are. They were happy to talk to me, even though most of that wasn't usable due to some audio issues on my end. They were super friendly, they really seemed to enjoy what they're doing, and it was very refreshing to see that kind of attitude in the food industry. I definitely recommend looking up their truck if you're in the area, and I will have a link to their Facebook page in the description where you can find their schedule. Next up, I'm headed into Louisville for a go at Boulder County's best Papusas. Located in an unassuming, permanently located food truck behind a liquor store, this place is a hidden gem for someone looking for delicious food at a price that you can't really beat in Boulder County. The woman behind the window of the truck does what she does well. Each order is cooked fresh right after you've ordered. This will mean a wait time of about 15 minutes, but you can always call ahead and your food will be ready when you get there. Alright, so here I am in my car because they don't really have seating. Here they are. Now I meant to order one order of pork and one order of beans, and I'm pretty sure that's what I did order. Maybe I should have said frijoles because I don't think she understood me, because I'm pretty sure she made me pork and chicken, but that is hardly a calamity. It's a lot softer than the arepa. The whole thing's almost gooey. It's filled with cheese, and I mean, yeah, get in there. And it's cooked with all that stuff in it. So as a result, it is much softer than the rather crunchy arepas. So you don't get as much of a difference, but then they throw this slaw at you. And now you have a crunch. I know, whenever you go out and you order Mexican food, and they give you that little salad with your enchiladas that no one has ever eaten. This is not that. This is something that really ties the meal together. It's like having a really simple, cozy, warm home and a great rug, dude. And when you put it all together, it all just ties together perfectly, man. Well, there you have it. 2 balls of Masa Harina, stuffed with a filling of your choice and flattened out, fried on the griddle, served with a side of lightly fermented cabbage slaw and a mild salsa. Just a note, if you do plan on visiting, they only accept cash. Like with all other places that I eat, I'll be having their info in the description below. Hi guys, hello, welcome to a few days after the filming of the Arepas and the Papusas clips. I ran into some trouble with my audio in that I didn't turn on any of my recording equipment. So while I did take footage, I did not have my shotgun mic or my personal recorder on. Turns out one layer of fail-safes is not enough to beat my own stupidity. But, you know, what can you do, right? So I figured I got off work fairly early tonight. Later than most of the Mexican restaurants in town are open, but there was at least one place. They were open, so I decided I would just run in, grab some Gorditas, and then just eat them and talk about them. One is shredded beef, one is chicharron, which I usually don't really like, but I feel like I need to broaden my food horizons a little bit. And I got just some chopped pork. So those 3, I will say off the bat, these are a lot less crispy than the ones that I had previously. I think I'll probably show a little clip of what the last ones look like. These ones appear to be grilled, not fried, so definitely a difference there. Maybe they were fried briefly, but I don't think so. They definitely seem more grilled than fried. So what is a gordita? So a gordita is very similar to a papusa. Essentially it's a Mexican version of the papusa, but they do tend to do things a little bit differently. There's not always cheese in it. Usually the way I've seen it is that they are deep fried. A lot of them I feel don't really do this. Most of them I think do it more like an arepas. They make the wrapper, and then after they fry it, they stuff it with whatever the filling is out of their third pans of meat. I'm not really looking to find the absolute best, the most amazing of all the food that I'm eating today, although the last two have been really freaking good. It's more just about including all three of them, showing them off, and educating people a little bit about what these foods are, because these are foods that not everyone's ever even heard of, let alone tried. And I think it's good to, you know, broaden your horizons, learn more about regional cuisines, because that's really what makes food so exciting, is seeing how different people apply their own magic to what are essentially the same ingredients. So, I mean, these are so similar to a gordita or an arepa, or any number of things. I mean, none of them are really that far off from a tamale. It's mostly just a different method of cooking. You steam it wrapped up instead of frying it or searing it, you wrap it in a leaf, whatever. I mean, that may seem like it's a totally different thing, but the ingredients are pretty much the same. So it's really cool seeing how people have created their own thing. Without any further ado, I'm gonna get eating before I let these get any soggier. I got off work, I went and got food, I came back here, I showered, so these have been made for a little while. Oh, and the salsa. I almost forgot the salsa. Ooh. Holy shit. Okay, they're not fucking around. I said give me the hottest salsa you have, and they did. Wow. That shit is spicy. That's like when I go eat Thai food, kind of spicy. Not expecting that. Most of the Mexican places I eat at around here have this habanero salsa, which is a little bit spicy. Alright, salsa's not nearly as bad when you got other stuff in the bite. I have a feeling I'm probably not going to enjoy this. This is the chicharrones. It's actually not bad. It's kind of like, it reminds me of eating menudo after it's gotten all sogged up in the sauce, because like when you're eating menudo, you don't really taste anything. You don't taste stomach. You taste whatever they cooked it in for the most part, unless they did it wrong. It's all like that. And it's a little bit of a chew, and other than that, you're mostly just tasting the salsa. I think I'm just going to dive into the shredded beef before it completely dissolves. Wow. Okay. That's really fucking good. I really like this restaurant. The shredded beef is phenomenal. Wow. I mean, it's got onions and chilies. It's this whole stewed concoction. So, with papusas and with gorditas, generally what they're going to be using is a thing called Masa Harina. And what that is it is corn that has been treated in a lime, and that's the chemical lime. It's not like a squeeze of lime on it. It is it was an alkaline mixture that they use. The germ is killed and the whole is essentially dissolved, and then they grind it up, and that's what you use. If you use too much lime, then you can results in this nasty aftertaste that no one really likes. But if you don't use too much of it, you can't really notice it until you try Masa Arepa. And that is very distinct in that they don't use any alkaline substance. They just boil the corn, and then after they boil it, they dry it, and they grind it up, salt. That's it. It's pre-cooked, so it is something you can eat right out the bat. So it's something you can just munch on, or you can do what the lovely lady who we talked to earlier was doing. You can make arepas, and yeah, you know, and you know what that is because I showed you about, I don't know, probably 6 minutes ago. I'm gonna say 6 minutes. It's my guess as to how long between segments I'm at. So yeah, that is what the difference is at its essence. That's the difference in the ingredients. Now, what they do with it after that, that's obviously also different. A Venezuelan arepa is what you saw earlier. A Colombian arepa is the arepa, the masa itself, which is then cooked, and then you put your meats on top of it. A papusa, everything's inside. And it's done with the Masa Harina. Gordita, what I just ate is a variant of it, but the version that I'm more familiar with is like a papusa, but stuffed a little more and then just fried. A gordita is usually much greasier than an arepa or a papusa, but you know, who doesn't like a good greasy food? It's really good that way. So that's pretty much all I have to talk about. I will see you in editing.